My name is Meyer.
One, and it comes to 2 to the 3 and 1, and it comes to 2 to the 3 and 1, and it comes to 2 to the 3 and 1, and it comes to 2 to the 3 and 1, and it comes to 2 to the 3 and 1, and it comes to 2 to the 3 and 1.
Came here to say that you don't really want it with us. Yeah, we love you know. We came here to say that you don't really want it with us. Yeah, the sports show.
You know what I realized before I made the mix? That I didn't take out the other mix to it. But I got y'all next year for sure. That's coming back. Yeah. What was that, Pete? Yeah. That's what it came on.
On my side.
Yo, we should film next Sunday. Well, I can't.
I can't.
I'll likely be on the road.
I can't either.
I'll be driving back from North Carolina on Sunday.
What about Friday?
Friday, if we can get it in the middle of the day, yeah, I can do it.
Possibility.
Okay, because you're so busy.
I'm in North Carolina with family this week.
Okay, your family could wait 2 hours,
Go. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another episode of the Yerrr Sports Show. Episode.
I'm asking you to go to the studio. I mean, that's one thing. I understand, but you can't get on your phone.
And we're going back to the we're going back to the studio next year too. At some point in time. At some point in time, not all the time. We'll try. Episode 100, we gotta go back to the studio for sure.
Depends on where I'm at.
Yes. But welcome back to another episode of the Yerrr Sports Show, episode 87. I am your host, Big Baby, aka the soul of R&B. And at the bottom of the pyramid today, we have Mr. Pete Rosado, the voice of a generation. What's going on, sir?
I am finally recovered from last week. Was extremely tired the following days, but I am doing well. Cannot wait for this Christmas break to come, though Christmas seemed to has come at a blink in an eye. It felt like yesterday it was Halloween, and now it's Christmas.
Yeah, this is true. And to our top right, we have the queen, the head of the Yerrr Sports Show, Queen Tay.
What's up, everybody?
25K Tay. What's going on?
Here.
Shout outs to the Dirty Hills podcast. Good brother Bo. Good people.
Hey.
Love them.
Okay, Fonzarelli. Hey.
Hey.
Did any of you watch Happy Days? Oh,
yes.
That was my show.
I liked Happy Days. But I used to catch it when I was younger. I used to catch it when it used to come on late at night when I shouldn't have been up. So now I'm watching Happy Days and Cheers and stuff at that time of night. So it was definitely cool. But how was everybody's weeks? That's a convoluted question this week.
My week was dusty.
Dusty. The hair wasn't fixed. Not your hair, but the week's hair wasn't fixed. None of that.
It was so dusty. I don't know. I'm tired of COVID. This Omarion variant. The best part of my week.
Omarion variant.
The best part of my week. I took my daughter to see the Rockettes on Monday, and it's now shut down because of COVID.
Yeah, I worked there for 2 years.
What did you do? You were a singer or something like that?
He was a rocket.
No, two Christmas seasons. I was a concession supervisor. I was a supervisor for 2 seasons at Radio City. I am tired of that show.
You was kicking your feet up too?
Nah, I was working. I remember I was one of the few new hires my first year there to ever get put on the mezzanine level, that first level when you walk into the building. Usually they don't let new hires go into on the ground level. They keep them either downstairs in the basement level or they put them up on the third floor. The first mezz, second mezz, and the ground floor usually kept for the veterans. But I was one of the few that was allowed to be in there because I'd pull in good money.
Look at you. Look at you.
Okay, but getting back to the show, the show is really good. I mean, the precision of the performers, just the meticulous detail that when it goes into the routines, like they're really dope. So, I mean, it was one of those touristy things that I never had the chance to do.
Mhm.
So it felt good to play tourist in my own city.
That's dope.
They
That's
still
dope.
have the scene of like the endless Santas.
Yeah. Yeah, they did.
I do want to give a lot of respect. The Rockettes, they train their butts off. And they work for usually 4 shows a day, 3 to 4 shows a day, depending on how deep into the season you go. Sometimes 5 shows a day on the really busy days. 3, 4 to 5 shows a day for what? Almost 70 days.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
That's a lot. But Mr. Rocket himself, how was your week?
Not bad. It was a quick week. We had quick week at the school. We had some sad news. Unfortunately, they canceled a planned fun day with the students next week because of the Omarion variant. So unfortunately, we won't be able to see the kids right before Christmas break.
Touch.
That's what you don't want to do right now.
That's right. That's exactly what you don't want to do. But
waiting for the Bing Bong variant.
What is this Bing Bong thing? I finally found out what the
Coney Island.
I finally found out what the Island Boy thing was.
mm-hmm.
I'm an Island Boy or whatever that was. Now I'm seeing Bing Bong everywhere.
So apparently it's something called sidewalk talk or something like that. These dudes from Brooklyn that they do this thing on YouTube called sidewalk talk. There was one that happened after the Knicks playoffs loss to Trae Young when they were outside Madison Square Garden. Everybody was cursing out Trae Young. But
that's where I got one of the pictures from, I think. One of the covers of the episode where the guy with the Knicks episode, the guy was acting a damn fool.
And so we ended up, I guess it was an episode that happened in Coney Island, and these just dudes out in the street asking stupid questions and people acting stupid. And there's this whole thing. And some dude just like in his car comes out and says, F your life, Bing Bong.
That's a Brooklyn thing, though.
And then they got this guy interviewing this old, like what I assume is, somebody doing something on the streets they shouldn't be doing. And he's like, yo, what you want to say to Joe Byron, right? And he literally says Joe Byron.
Byron.
He's like, what you want to say to Joe Byron right now? And the guy's like, what's up? Take me out to dinner.
Hey, yo.
That's it.
That's what the Bing Bong is.
Yeah.
Bing Bong.
Yeah, hey, and that guy, and crazy enough, that guy who said that part, he was a homeless dude and everything like that. Now he has an apartment because of the money he's made being the social media superstar now. So
you see these dogs in your front yard? Just know I'm upstairs going hard.
Bing Bong.
All right. Enough.
But yeah, my week was pretty good. It's starting to ratchet up because of people traveling, deciding, oh, it's Christmas, so let's go travel during this crazy pandemic again. But we also moved into a different part of the building. If people don't know, LaGuardia is going through construction and
again.
Oh, I know. There was if we had a segment called what was it? Go get the smoke.
The smoke section.
The smoke section. I want to give the smoke the most valuable asshole award to this ticket agent at LaGuardia Airport. I'm not going to give their name and their government out, but I checked them for a flight. Right. I had no choice but to turn around, and then they wouldn't. A lot of people know that I recently came back from, my cancer. I had cancer earlier this year. I have a lot of medications that I have to take and just different things like that. and I put my medication in my suitcase. So at first they were unwilling to give me my luggage back. They said that it was too late. Now, mind you, I checked in an hour before boarding. So I had to turn up.
An hour before boarding, right?
Yeah, an hour before boarding.
Okay.
So say I was boarding at 5:30, I got there about 4:15.
Okay.
So I don't get what the big issue was. I had to speak to about 4 supervisors, and then I finally lost my shit in the middle of LaGuardia. So sorry, apologies to everybody who was there on Thursday evening and just saw me at my best or worst, depending on. But long story short, that asshole was the reason why my medications almost got shipped to the place I was going to anyway. So.
All right. Well, that was Queen Chase. That was Queen Chase smoke section right there. But yeah, we're in a whole different side of the terminal now. It looks a lot nicer. But can't wait to see how it's actually gonna function. But
it's terrible. Especially Terminal D.
Yeah, the Delta terminal and the both Delta terminals are getting like heavy construction, like heavy, like they got to almost knock everything over. But Pete, quick hits, you ready for us?
Let's do it. I'm just tallying up pick 5.
All right.
I'm sure you fiending to do that, right?
Also, when I get to pick 5, I'm gonna need you to add +5 for everybody since we didn't do it last week. So everybody gets 5.
5 wins, or we just taking a week off?
No,
everybody. We just take 5.
Everybody gets 5 wins. It's the same thing as going 0. It's the same thing for all of us going 0. The record stayed the same.
Okay, so that's
everybody gets 5 wins. So, but let's get right into quick hits right about now.
All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for quick hits for the week of December the 18th, and we start in Major League Baseball with a Major League hire by the New York Metropolitans as they have finally hired their new manager. The Mets announced earlier today that they have hired Buck Showalter as their new manager, taking over for Luis Rojas, who was fired this past year after the team finished 77-85 after being in first place for 103 days but missing the playoff. The final 3 for the Mets managing position were Houston Astros bench coach Joe Espada and Tampa Bay Rays bench coach Matt Quatrero. But Buck Showalter was chosen. He's been a major league manager for 4 teams, starting since 1992 to 2018. He's been the American League Manager of the Year 3 times, as he won American League Manager of the Year for the Yankees, Rangers, and Orioles. He also managed the Arizona Diamondbacks and has a career record of 1,551 wins to 1,517 losses.
That doesn't sound impressive to me.
Well, he spent 8+ seasons with Baltimore. A lot of his losses coming with Baltimore. Even though he spent 8 years there, they only went to 3 playoffs, 1 division title, and made the 2014 ALCS, where they were swept by the eventual World Series champions, the Kansas City Royals. Left the Orioles in 2018. Since then, been working as a MLB Network analyst and on Yankee broadcasts with Yes. A lot of his losses coming during that time with the Baltimore Orioles. When he was with the Texas Rangers, had really great teams. Those were the A-Rod years. Did have some losses, but really great Texas Rangers teams during the regular season. Took the Yankees to the playoffs in 1994. Many thought the Yankees could have won that World Series had it not been for the strike. And then the Arizona Diamondbacks, obviously, was the manager there when they won the World Series against the Yankees in 2001 and stopped the 5-year streak of winning World Series titles. So hoping to bring something to the Mets as their new manager there. No contract terms have been announced just yet. Another person coming back to a position they once held. The Utah Jazz have hired Danny Ainge to be there to oversee basketball operations in Utah after previously being the president of basketball operations and general manager for Boston for so many years.
I'm sure bro about this finesse the hell out of some teams for some trades again. That's what he do. I wish he would come to New York and do that for the Knicks and finesse some assets and some people over there to New York.
Dolan done soured so many relationships that I don't think anybody who wants to talk to the Knicks at all.
Now, he will not be the general manager for the Jazz. He will be the CEO of Jazz Basketball and the Smith Entertainment Group and alternate governor. He is overseeing basketball operations, but he is working in lockstep with Jazz general manager Justin Zanuck, who does roam the team's day-to-day operations. And he will also be working with the ownership group that includes new owner Ryan Smith and former NBA star Dwayne Wade. And lastly, some sad news that was announced a little over a week ago. And the man has now, unfortunately, but for his family, fortunately, been laid to rest. Unfortunately, we lost a great man and a great wide receiver in Denver Broncos great Damaris Thomas. Died at the age of 33. Was laid to rest in Georgia, close to where he played college football and high school football as well. Was found dead in his home in Roswell, Georgia. And original indications was that his death might have resulted from medical issues. And the day he was laid to rest, the report came out that he'd been suffering from seizures for a couple of months, close to a year, and he may have died from a seizure at the young age of 33 years old. Damaris Thomas was drafted in 2010 to the Denver Broncos along with Tim Tebow. He played for the Broncos for 9 seasons, is their second leading receiver, only behind Rod Smith, and third in the franchise in catches behind both Rod Smith and Shannon Sharp. Was there when they won Super Bowl 50, teamed up with Peyton Manning to finish with a career-best 14 touchdowns and 1,619 receiving yards during the Manning's time with the Broncos. All-time, he played 10 seasons in the NFL. His final season was split between the New York Jets and Houston Texans, amassing 724 catches, 9,763 yards, and 63 total touchdowns. And he also caught Peyton Manning's 509th career touchdown pass, which at the time gave Peyton Manning the career record for touchdown passes at the time. From all of us here at the Yerrr Sports Show and all of us in the sports world, we wish only strength and love to Damaris Thomas's family, and may Damaris Thomas and his memory rest in peace. That is all for Quick Hits for the week of December the 18th.
Most definitely. Again, can't echo it or say it any better than Peter just did. It's funny, like at the NFL, they have a lot of great players in short stints. Like he only played 10 years, but his number for 10 years are better than most players who have played more than that, a couple of years more than that, some 20-year players. So definitely rest in peace to him. But on a lighter note, Pete. Well, actually, I shouldn't be asking Pete. I should be asking the queen of the show and the queen of Pick 5. How you feeling this week? How you?
Terrible. I feel like I lost my lead. So, ref all of that. I don't even want to do this anymore.
After you've been in the lead for how many weeks?
Exactly. I never said I was a graceful loser. Like,
but you get on Matt about not being a graceful loser. Yeah.
No, I got on Matt because he said that Pete was the reason I won.
Yeah.
That's a difference.
Yeah.
All right, so what's the standings? Go ahead. Like,
come on, we'll get into Pick 5.
Listen, Pete, come on.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I don't want to hear no fancy introductions. I don't want to hear no fancy like monologues. Pete, just give me the number so we can just get this over with. Thank you.
All right. Well, it's
the numbers.
So in the last week that we made,
Hello. The numbers, please.
Yeah. Dre, you went 2-3 in our last week.
The standings only. Thank you.
No, I want to hear where everybody went last week.
You went 2-3, so you wasn't that impressive either.
That's fine. I don't mind not being impressive. I already know where I belong. I know where I'm at.
The standings, please.
Both myself and Tay went 1-4.
Are you get him off my screen?
And Matt won last week. Matt went 3-2.
I thought you went. So you
we both went 1-4. Yeah, Matt went 3-2. Matt was the only one to have a winning record in our last pick 5 week. As we know, we took last week off, so we didn't pick that week. Everybody's gonna get the 5 from that week. But Matt went 3-2 in the last week we picked, meaning that in first place for the first time in the history of ever, is Matt at 39-31.
Mm-hmm.
In second place is Tay at 38-32, one game behind Matt. And tied for last is me and Dre.
Here we go again, Pete.
At 33.
Welcome to the bottom, Pete.
That is abysmal.
We are all one game out of each other's place. But the fact that Matt, on the week that he's not with us on the show, is in first place. Matt's not here to celebrate because you know he'd be running around his house right now, screaming at the top of his lungs, saying something about Aaron Rodgers and the MVP.
That is true. That is true.
I sent Matt a video on Instagram this morning. He's probably not going to see it. It's probably going to piss him off. Do you guys notice that every time Aaron Rodgers is going to say something completely egregious, that he has this like look to the right? Like it's subtle, it's very chilling, and it's almost like that of a serial killer. Like someone had asked him if he enjoyed being a Green Bay Packer, and he looked to the right and he said, "I love playing football." I'm like, this guy's a sociopath.
No, man, but that don't mean nothing. That's my MVP. That's my MVP. Yeah, no, but that's what comes when you don't speak to your parents. You start acting like
exactly
like a crazy man. I was trying to tell Matt that the other day when it was me and him on the show. He don't want to listen. That the reason why things are the way they are with Aaron Rodgers is because he don't speak to his parents. But it's all good. It's all good.
Honor thy mother and thy father, and your days on earth will be long.
Mm-hmm. But if you don't, you become a sociopath and then act like a serial killer.
He does.
He does.
He has the mannerisms of a sociopath. I'm just being honest.
He is like NFL's Ted Bundy right now. Mm-hmm. Right. But the picks. First game, Raiders versus Browns.
Oh, I wasn't ready for this.
I'm taking the Raiders. The Browns are decimated by COVID right now. Baker Mayfield went down, and then their backup quarterback, Case Keenum, goes down as well into COVID protocols. I'm taking the Raiders in this game.
Wait. Didn't they is this one of the games that they
did reschedule it, yes.
When is it? Reschedule it. Is this
it
this week coming up, or is it still should be this week coming up?
Right now. So it's been flexed to Monday.
Okay, fine.
The Raiders Browns will be on Monday along with Vikings Bears, and then the Seahawks and Rams and the football team and the Eagles got flexed to Tuesday.
They still haven't come up with a name for that team?
No, they said they were going to come up with one just by this year before the year started, and I guess they got lazy. They're like, you know what? Y'all are just going to be the football team.
I'm going with the Raiders as well.
Raiders, for sure.
The Browns started off the season looking really impressive, as usual. For the past few years, that's kind of been their MO. And then, like, they completely, like, Baker Mayfield reminds me kind of Kirk Cousins in that he has some remarkable plays within him, but overhyped and overrated.
Absolutely. So we all going with the Raiders. I'm sure Matt will go with the Raiders, but I'm not going to pick for him.
No, let him pick for himself.
Yeah, let him pick for himself. I got to let him know in enough time because he tried to bark on me the other week. And I wasn't having it. So, Titans versus Steelers. I don't know. I really don't know about this game.
I mean, the Steelers were looking pretty good like last week. That was the best they looked all season. But the Titans have a penchant for, spoiling streaks.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know.
Titans are 9-4, oddly enough, and they're a quiet 9-4.
Right, with their injuries and stuff like that. Like with Derrick Henry, I think those 4 losses don't happen though. But I'm gonna go with the Titans still. They have a better receiving core, and it's the Steelers. The Steelers are known to just let people down. So
yeah, I mean the Titans in their last 5 are 3-2. Beat Jacksonville, New Orleans, and the Rams. They lost to Houston and New England. Steelers in their last 5 are 1-3-1. Lost to Minnesota, beat Baltimore, lost to Cincinnati and the Chargers, and tied with Detroit. Yeah, I'm taking the Titans.
How ties with Detroit? Queen?
And they're playing in Pittsburgh.
So you think them towels gonna give people some extra powers?
I don't know. You know what? These AFC South games are always weird.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever it's the Bengals, the Steelers, the Ravens, the Titans, I always feel like it's a crazy throw up. I mean, sorry, with the North, when you got those northern teams, Baltimore, Cleveland, Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, but you add in that Tennessee into it. I mean, even though they're the AFC South, whenever those 5 teams tend to play each other, it's like the Matrix, really. Like, it's hard to really pick because sometimes you'll get teams that are the definitive favorites in those games, and then they'll just get blown out.
Mm-hmm. But while I say thanks, we'll go to the next matchup.
We'll go with the Titans.
So Titans are on the table?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Falcons, Niners. Yeah. Because the rest of the games that were on there were kind of throwaway games that we probably could have picked, and we all probably would have went like at least 4-1. So, but Falcons, Niners. I'm gonna go with the 49ers. I'm not all the way completely sold on the 49ers, but they're playing Matt Ryan. So I'm going to go with the 49ers.
I too will be going with the 49ers. That's not as hard as you think. Mm-hmm. The Falcons are not. I mean, they haven't recovered since being up 28-3 against the Patriots a few years ago. when I think of that team, I still think of that.
Yeah, that's the only thing I think of.
Yeah, that's the only thing I think of. So no.
So this is tough. Everything in me is saying to pick the 49ers. They're 4-1 in their last 5. They've beaten Cincinnati, Minnesota, Jacksonville, and the Rams. They're playing at home. They have a winning record. They're a better team. The Falcons are 2-3 in their last 5. Got shut out by New England, scored 3 points against Dallas, but then they go and they drop 17 on Tampa Bay, and we're looking like they were going to win all the way into the second half. Beat Jacksonville, beat Carolina. Here's the funny thing about them. They are 5-2 on the road, and San Francisco is 2-4 at home. And there's something about that away record that's really kind of making me think, okay, can the Falcons pull this off? I'm going to play it safe, and I'm going to say the 49ers, but there's something, I don't know, there's something fishy about this game that's bothering
me. All right.
Okay, Miss Cleo, what is it?
I don't know, there's something about that Falcons away record. They're 5-2 away from Atlanta. And San Francisco's 2-4 at home. Atlanta has played better as of late in their last 3 games. They beat Jacksonville. They were looking like they were going to beat Tampa Bay before Tom Brady did Tom Brady things. And then they beat Carolina in Carolina. The Niners have a better record overall. They're 4-1 in their last 5. They lost to Seattle on a last-minute touchdown, beat Cincinnati in overtime, but then beat Minnesota, beat Jacksonville, beat the Rams. I'm going to take the smart money and go with the Niners, but like I said, there's something fishy about this game. I don't know what it is.
So then go with your gut. Pick the Falcons. How dare you?
Pick Matty Ice. Do it. Do it. All right. Seahawks versus Rams.
I'm high on the Seahawks. I've always been high on the Seahawks, man.
This game was for you.
Yeah. I mean, Seattle has been playing out their minds quietly past couple of weeks. But I'm still going with the Rams.
I'm going to go with the Rams. Odell seems renewed.
Not because of damn Odell.
Huh?
Not because of no damn Odell.
I'm going with it because of Odell, only because I still don't trust. I don't trust the secondary of Seattle right now. Even though Stafford is good to throw a pick or two.
Hey, you took the Niners, right? I'm just asking.
Yes.
Okay. I'm taking the Rams as well. I mean, to what you're saying, I mean, Stafford's only thrown 9 interceptions to 33 touchdowns this year. But it bothers me that the Rams are 9-4. I feel like they should be better. The Seahawks need a lot of help. And Russell Wilson is a great player, but he can't do this on his own. They lost against Washington, Arizona, and Green Bay. Got shut out against Green Bay. Then they beat San Francisco by a touchdown in the fourth quarter, and they beat Houston. But for a while, Houston looked like they were winning that game, and Houston should not look like they're winning any game.
Yeah.
Then again, the Rams beat Arizona and beat Jacksonville, but lose to Green Bay, San Francisco, and Tennessee 3 weeks in a row. I'm going to take the Rams. They should be better than what they are, and this is a game where they need to prove it.
Yeah. Okay. So everybody picked the Rams here too, right? All right. Packers, Ravens. I'm going with the Packers. Now, listen. Listen. Before you say anything, Pete, I understand what you're going to say, but Lamar Jackson got hurt last week. So last week you can't criticize them for getting hurt.
Yes, again.
He got hurt. Bro, like, that's not fair.
Tell a bum.
He is like he dies.
Right.
Exactly.
I'm picking the Packers.
Guys. And what game is this?
Packers, Ravens.
Oh. I'm taking the Packers.
You picked no games where we can kind of like debate over.
I'm surprised he didn't pick Saints Buccaneers. I'm surprised he didn't pick Giants Cowboys.
You surprised I didn't pick Jets Miami either?
That's going to be a terrible game on both sides.
All right.
Let me tell you something. I don't know how many times I'm going to say that the Dallas Cowboys are exactly who I've been saying they are for the past like 15 years. I mean, all flash, no substance.
Yeah.
Another year.
Ezekiel Elliott, how does he only have 185 carries?
Because he's Ezekiel Elliott and he's overrated. Like, how many times I'm gonna say that? Like,
they don't want him with the ball in his hands.
No, because they don't trust him.
Mm-hmm. And isn't Zeke coming off an injury year too?
I don't know. I don't pay attention.
Yeah. Like I said, the Bucs Saints matchup, as shaky as the Bucs have been playing, I believe they were caught off guard the first week. They played the first time they played the Saints. But no, the Bucs got that one.
I think the Bucs got it.
Yeah, but the games between the New York teams, honestly, Dallas has been playing so iffy, and I'm just unsure about the Giants. And I know we all would have picked damn Miami over the Jets anyway. So,
and the Jets could have. Let me tell you something. So the Jets could upset the Dolphins.
They could.
I feel like they
could. Not upset.
Not really. I mean, the Jets pedigree, it's an upset.
Right now, we're 14 weeks into the season. Mm-hmm. We're about to hit week 15. And right now, the playoff picture is murky for a lot of teams. I mean, right now, it's in order 1 to 6. In the AFC, it's Kansas City, New England, Tennessee, Baltimore, the Chargers. And then you have Indianapolis, Buffalo, Cleveland, Cincinnati, and Denver all tied at 7 and 6 for that last spot in the playoffs.
Football and then sounds nasty right now.
Yeah. Pittsburgh still has an outside chance at 6-1. And believe it or not, the Raiders in Miami still have an outside chance at 6-7. There are legitimately 13 teams in the AFC that are in playoff contention right now. In the NFC, it's Green Bay, Tampa Bay, Arizona, Dallas, the Rams, and San Francisco. San Francisco is 7 and 6 and has a 1-game hold on that final playoff spot. Washington, Minnesota, Philadelphia, Atlanta, and New Orleans are all 6 and 7 and are 1 game away. So, a couple of teams in the NFC that still have a shot as well, but far and away, the NFC is a lot clearer than the AFC.
But can I just say, what happened to the Buffalo Bills?
Yeah.
That was a team last season that we were raving about potentially being the one to dethrone the Chiefs as the AFC favorites, right? We talked so much about them. They've always been like right at the brink. And this year, they have not looked quite as impressive. Not even fit. They don't even look as good as they've looked for the past couple of years, and they kind of fly under the radar because the Chiefs have been so up and down. But the Bills, too. The Bills have not been who everybody thought they were going to be this year. I really thought at the beginning of the season that the Bills were the team to beat in the AFC.
And a lot of it has been just defensive, playing a zone on Josh Allen, sitting back and letting him throw the ball and, letting him make mistakes. They've looked good in spurts. They had an opening week loss to the Steelers, and then they went on a 4-game winning streak punctuated by defeating the Chiefs in week 5, 38-20. Then they go and lose to the Titans by 3 points, beat the Dolphins, lose to the Jaguars 9-6. That was just an embarrassing game on so many levels. Come back, they blow out the Jets, then they get blown out by the Colts, beat the Saints, and then lose by 4 points to the Patriots and by less than a touchdown to the Buccaneers. It's tough. They've got the Panthers, the Patriots, the Falcons, and the Jets left in the regular season. There's no reason why they shouldn't go 4-0 for the rest of the regular season. They're likely going to go 3-1. I could see them possibly losing again to the Patriots, but they should go 4-0 and end 11-6, but they should be much better than what they are. You're right, Tay.
Yeah, it's definitely a weird situation in NFL. And this is why Pick 5 has been so weird this year. The teams that's been supposed to win, they haven't. And the teams that's not supposed to win, they pull out random ass victories. Also, Shaq said something about Aaron Rodgers. He said this Rodgers thing is so off the rails. It has me questioning why he would leave, especially when there's a good 3 or 4 wins in that NFC North division.
I agree.
Yeah. But let's get into today's topics, and we are going to start with the Wicked Witch of Jacksonville being fired for sure. Let's get into it. Urban Meyer's fired, y'all. Not gonna make it pretty. He's fired. It's about time. He has made so many questionable decisions from the beginning of his tenure with the team. He just wasn't good. He wasn't good for the NFL. And now how do Jacksonville recover from this? Jacksonville has been bad for a very long time, and they're continuing to be bad. So I don't think it's going to be too much recovering. But how do you think they move on and attempt to get better, Tay?
Well, they have to kind of look at their internal structure and look at the fact that whatever formula they're trying to employ to attract players, to attract a decent coaching staff, to attract chemistry, to make the team work, there's something at the core that's not working. And I think it goes deeper than a head coach. It goes deeper than your lines, your defense, your offense. And I think there's something in the corporate structure that's really off balanced. And there's no excuse for why this team has been so bad for so long. I mean, Tom Coughlin tried, and he had a really impressive pedigree with the New York Giants and wasn't able to do jack shit with the Jacksonville Jaguars at all. And when you look at
second time though,
yeah, nothing. I'm just talking about this last hurrah with them a few years ago. And then Urban Meyer, I felt that Urban Meyer was not a fit from day one for some reason. I felt that his coaching style, the way that he ran his team was completely out of his league. And I still don't blame Urban Meyer. I blame the Jaguars. I think they should have known better. And I'm not even talking about the incident with him dancing with a woman. Like, I think that's so petty and immature. I'm just talking about how he's been reported to talk to grown ass men in the NFL. Like, you can't talk to them like you would talk to a college kid. You shouldn't be talking to anybody the way he reportedly talks to his staff. So I feel like with the Jacksonville Jaguars, they need to start completely over. They need to kind of uproot anyone from their coaching staff. There's something inherently wrong with the culture of that team, with the way that they've played over the past few years, and even the pedigree and coaches.
Pete, how would you fix the Jaguars?
Fire everyone.
Yeah, you need an organizational revamp. This is a team that's had 7 winning seasons, if I counted correctly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, 7 winning seasons in 27 years of existence. And the majority of those winning seasons came between years 2 and year 5 of existence. Jacksonville Jaguars were an expansion team in 1995, started 4-12. Mm-hmm. Tom Coughlin was the coach of this expansion team. Then in 1996, they went 9-7 and lost in the conference championship game. Then they went 11-5 in 1997, finished second in their division, lost in the wild card round. Then went 11-5 in 98, finished first in their division, lost in the divisional game. And then in 1999, they went 14-2, once again finished in first place, lost in the conference finals to the for that year. Then we started to decline, 7-9, 6-10, 6-10, 5-11. 2004, 2005 started looking good, and I apologize. I should have given them at least 3 more seasons. They had 2 500 years and another winning season.
2004, 500. I don't know where we think 500 is a successful season. By no stretch of the word, you're winning as much as you're losing. So that's mediocre at best.
Now, Tom Coughlin gets fired in 2002. Okay, after 4 straight losing seasons. Jack Del Rio gets hired, right? Immediately turns the team around, goes 9-7, 12-4, goes to the wild card and loses there. 8-8, 11-5, lost in the divisional round, and then went 5-11, 7-9, 8-8, 5-11. So Del Rio comes in, they get 4 good years, and then they have 4 bad years. Then they fire him, bring in Mike Mularkey. He lasts 1 year. Then they bring in Bradley. He goes 4 years, terrible there, right? Then they brought in Doug Marrone, who in his first year, the team goes 10-6, finishes first, loses in the conference finals. And then it's been downhill again from there. The problem is, first of all, when you brought in Coughlin back in the mid-90s, the NFL was different. Coughlin and Del Rio, I think, were successful because of what the NFL was. It was militaristic. The coach is the leader. The coach is the boss. This is what happens. You don't like it. You don't play for the team. There was no – you had superstars, but no one was bigger than the team. Even the superstars understood that there was a team dynamic, especially in the late 90s, early 2000s. Because we were really talking about what? A running back or quarterback. The diva wide receivers weren't really well received on a lot of teams, okay? But they were successful. But once we started getting into the mid-2000s to the late 2000s in the last decade, where the format of the NFL has changed, where now the younger players have a lot more say, the younger players get on the field faster. They are the team, and the coach is the coach, but not necessarily the boss. That's been the issue. And they've also hired coaches that are very militaristic. And you've also hired coaches that come from college. Doug Marrone came from college. He came from Syracuse. He coached at my alma mater. Then went to Rutgers and was once again successful at Rutgers for a number of years. Urban Meyer was successful in college, but a lot of people talked about, will his transition to the NFL be the same? Because college coaches are power hungry. They are the god on campus. Okay? At top college programs, the coach is everything. The coach controls your scholarships. The coach controls whether you play or not. The coach controls whether you make the team or not. And you're talking about kids that are 18, 19, 20, 21 years old. They have to do what the coach says. It's only in the last 2 or 3 years that that's changed.
So,
a guy like that's not going to work in the NFL because you got a bunch of guys who is just like, as Tay said, I'm a grown man. I'm making millions of dollars. I am my own boss. I listen to you when it comes to on the field stuff, but you got to talk to me like a man. You can't talk down to your players. You can't treat them like you control them, because an NFL coach does not have control over the lives of their players like college coaches do.
So basically, because of the power struggle, Urban Meyer wouldn't have been successful anyway. So in order to...
You didn't have the tools to even be successful. The tools weren't there. It's like you could try to build a house, but if you don't have the tools, you really can't get started. So partly it's on him, but partly it's on that organization too. I say it's 70-30 with the Jacksonville Jaguars carrying the brunt of why this didn't go the way it was supposed to. Urban Meyer, his coaching tactics, they've always come under question. As you know, before the start of the season, there was a lot of controversy based on some of the things he's said in the past, some of the things he's done in the past. Mm-hmm. So they went into this with their eyes wide open, knowing what they were getting. It's not like he pulled the bait and switch.
Right. I just think you fix them.
Coaches are in the NFL. They're coaches that are collaborative. They collaborate with their players. They collaborate with the staff. They're not
necessarily true, though, because you hear about a lot of these beefs with like Matt LaFleur and Aaron Rodgers. Like, you hear about different strains within the organization, but Urban it was too soon to be beefing.
Yeah, but I mean, with LaFleur and Rodgers, that's its own little thing. But look at a lot of the older coaches outside of Belichick are not really successful that much anymore. And a lot of people were coming out about Belichick the minute Brady left. The minute that whole Brady-Belichick dynamic was destroyed, really it's like, all right, everything started coming out about Belichick. Bruce Arians is an older coach, but Bruce Arians is known as a player's coach. Sean Payton's an older coach, but he's known as a player's coach. True. A lot of the older coaches that come from that older mindset of, I'm the boss, I rule with iron fist, you do what I say, are not very successful. Look, Mike Tomlin's maybe the one exception, but Mike Tomlin has the respect of his players.
Coach.
Tomlin is a player's coach. He has the respect of his players.
Yeah, because
he's ruled by fear.
Yeah. Tomlin is a player's coach, but I think the sad part about it is because he's a black man with a straight angry face, you think he's angry all the time. And he can be the nicest, most humblest, funniest guy, but because his face is so serious, you would think that he's just this iron fist type of coach. He doesn't even have to be that way.
I've heard he's not. I've heard he's not like that. I've heard that he is very sweet individual.
I hear that he's a player's coach.
Yeah, and a lot of these older coaches that have that iron fist mindset, they're gone. And I'm kind of glad that even though his name comes up a lot for interviews, and I love him personally as a coach, I'm kind of glad Bill Cowher doesn't come back, because Bill Cowher's from that old school mindset, and I don't know if Bill Cowher in today's NFL would work. And again, I'm a huge fan of Bill Cowher.
Bill Cowher would be.
Coughlin didn't work in his second run in Jacksonville because Coughlin came in with that old school militaristic attitude. And he tried to run the organization that way, and they turned on him quick.
Yeah, but I think that they were expecting him to turn nothing into something. And I think that's where they weren't in a position to make any impressive moves. They didn't really make any impressive moves. But I think, like we said, I don't think it's the coaching styles that are coming under question here. I really feel like there's a deeper cultural issue with the Jacksonville Jaguars. And I feel like until they fix what's at the root of their problems, it's going to be this. It's going to be same script, different cast.
Where's Mark Brunell? When Mark Brunell was there, they were good.
You know how long ago that was?
But not
1994.
But not good enough. You're gonna say not good enough?
No, they were making the playoffs every year. They were winning. I mean,
yeah. I mean, getting to the playoffs to me is not impressive.
Not in the NFL.
Where's Jimmy Smith, Fred Taylor, Maurice Jones-Drew, Mark Brunell? Like, those are the Jaguars you remember. And I think a lot of it, I think when you talk about that culture, I think there's something to be said about maybe reaching back to those old Jaguars that helped create the foundation of this team and say, how do we
never won anything?
Oh, no, they never won anything, but they were successful.
I'm bringing back all these losers to coach more losers. Like, that doesn't make any sense.
Hold on.
Y'all trying to be mediocre? Come on, y'all. Let me tell y'all what's up.
But hold up. Let's talk about all three sports. Yeah. Basketball, football, baseball. A lot of the most successful coaches are not winners in their own playing days. They're not. Very rarely do you see successful players, highly successful players, be good coaching.
that's the reason why you never see people like John Starks and Allen Houston and Larry Johnson from the Knicks. You never see them in coaching positions because even though they were stalwarts and cornerstones for the team did nothing. When you look at the record books, you still remember in 1994, the Houston Rockets won the NBA Finals. And in 1999, so did the San Antonio Spurs. You don't remember. You don't think of LJ, unless you're a Knicks fan, you don't think of the 4-point play. You don't think of things like that. So bringing all these I won't say mediocre talent because that's not fair, but bringing all these guys who may have had a winning season, that's like giving a participation trophy to everybody. Oh, Pete, you showed up to the podcast on time today. Here's a trophy.
But would you think Shaq make a great coach?
Huh?
Do you think Shaq would translate to being a great coach?
No.
I think that's a personality. I think it's also a personality.
I think the reality of it is when you look at
neither will Barkley. Neither will
Barkley. It's usually those middling. Usually, when you look at the rosters of coaches in the NBA, Major League Baseball, and even in the NFL, when you look at a lot of the coordinators, look at a lot of the head coaches, a lot of them were players who had either middling careers or a flash in the pan careers, and they're better suited for teaching and coaching than they were for players. It's very rare that you see really good players or star players transition successfully to coaching. It's not impossible.
You don't really see people who were players in the NFL translate to coaches at all. You see a lot of guys who were coaches translate into coaches. Like you'll see a lot of
players. A lot of quarterback coaches are former players.
I'm talking about head coach. We don't care about quarterback. I don't care about quarterback coaches. I don't care about offensive line coaches. I'm talking about the head coach, the guy who runs the team.
Garrett played, I think. I think Jason Garrett played. Madden played.
Jason Garrett played. And what did the Dallas Cowboys do?
Nothing.
Under his tutelage. Nothing. Okay. And then when you look at the NBA and you look at the people who are coaches, when you look at Steve Nash, he was a multi-time MVP and a floor general. You know what I'm saying? When you look at Jason Kidd, these are notables. Look at what Jason Kidd did throughout his career. Doc Rivers, people may not know a lot about his playing career, but I remember he had some really amazing years with the Knicks. Amazing years. And was known and had that reputation for being a coach player during his tenure. I think Kobe would have been a good, rest in peace, would have been a good NBA head coach because of the basketball mindset. You get what I'm saying? But with the NFL, what I feel is the issue. You have these teams who they live and die by their head coach, and they live and die by the quality of talent that they have on their roster. The Jacksonville Jaguars have had no one of note to me over the past few years to kind of make a deeper run than what they've already been doing. Yes, they could have done better, but the best they could have done was a 500, which to me is mediocre.
No, I mean they had some really good winning seasons. They did make a couple of championship games.
I know you went through their whole entire history, Peter. You know, it was like having a real life Wikipedia. You read all that shit in a minute. And you know what do you know what I learned and all that?
They're a middling team.
They need to go to the CFL.
To your earlier point, just to back that up,
we're gonna wrap it up after this.
Yeah, there's only been 17, I believe, 17 successful players that have transitioned from NFL players to NFL coaches, and many of them, probably the most successful ones, are Dick LeBeau, who didn't do much as the head coach of the Bengals, but became probably the greatest defensive coordinator of all time for the Steelers, and obviously more recently, Mike Singletary, who coached the Niners and the Bears, Art Shell, and Mike Ditka as probably the most successful players to transition to head coaches in the NFL. You had a couple others, but many of them were not successful.
Sometimes coordinators don't even translate to successful coaches. Everybody credited Matt Patricia with all of the Patriots' success. And then he went to the Detroit Lions, and then I forgot that he was you would think back in the days when the Patriots were winning everything, unless they were facing my Giants, you would see Patricia on the court, on the field, almost as much as you saw Belichick because of how they were jocking this guy so bad. Like you thought that when he went off to branch off and be his own coach, you really thought that he was going to do something with the Lions, and he did nothing.
Yeah, he didn't do.
I mean, the only three coaches that have been really successful after coming out of Belichick have been Charlie Weiss. I'm forgetting Romeo Crennel, and now Mike Vrabel, who's coaching the Tennessee Titans, has been kind of successful. And Vrabel, obviously, we know him as a great player for the Patriots.
All right. Well, we'll see what the Jacksonville Jaguars got to do. I don't think, like I said, bringing in somebody would help, but I don't know what they can do.
They need a hard reset.
Super hard reset, like refresh, erase all the data. But
volume up and power.
Yes, yes. Factory data reset. Send it back. But so we've talked about this this last issue for a while, and sports and COVID don't seem to go together at all still. And it's just it's a lot. You can drop it. Drop it. Drop it. Drop it. I don't care. I'll make it do it. That's so good. Sorry, got packages from Amazon. Got some stuff. But COVID and the NFL and the NBA now. But the NFL just had to postpone about how many games? 3 games?
3 games.
3 games this week due to COVID. The NBA has over 20 players who are in COVID protocol. With the NFL, I'm going to start with the NFL.
The NFL has always had a COVID issue,
right? And it's back. It's back more than it was before. Had a
COVID issue since last season. To be honest with you, last season was worse than this season.
Yeah,
the NFL.
Yeah, for sure. But now this month with the new variant out, a lot of people are catching it. Do we?
Marion's messing with everybody.
Marion's just touching too many people's souls right now. So, with that being said, what does the NFL have to do more of? Because Baker Mayfield, and we got to take what Baker Mayfield's saying with a grain of salt. He's basically saying the NFL isn't being as proactive as we think they are in terms of testing. They were from testing 3 all the teams to just testing 3 teams in a week, and they originally didn't want to postpone these games due to money. So, Pete, what do you think has to be done more in the NFL?
It's hard to say, right? Because you want to say that the easy answer is vaccinations, and it's not an easy answer because obviously we have breakthrough cases. Getting vaccinated, getting your booster shots, and doing all these things that are necessary health-wise help. They make it less likely, but they don't make it impossible, right? Just like getting a flu shot doesn't make it impossible to get the flu, but it's still going to protect you more than not getting the flu shot. So, yeah, I think the first step is really – it's vaccination, but then that becomes a personal choice with players. You can't mandate that. But I think
you should.
You should, but they can't because of collective bargaining and the union.
And it's not fair because everyday humans have to go to work, and they can't provide for their families unless they're vaccinated. There were many people who were forced into vaccinations because without that, they wouldn't be able to have everyday average jobs. You get what I'm saying? And I feel like it's really, really, really reckless and careless. Do we remember at one time we were losing 800 people a day to this virus? You get what I'm saying? And now because millionaires don't want to, take a shot to the arm, even though before we even leave a hospital when we're first born, we take a series of shots. You had to take shots to go to school, unless your parents was switching with the okie doke, like Antonio Brown.
I love AD.
The parents filled out the vaccination passport for you. Yeah, I think you'll be all right. Well, we got this.
I think you 121.97. The booster 122.98.
Listen, Tay makes a great point. Tay makes a perfect point, right? It's sad that you have regular everyday people who are, have to do it, are mandated to do it, which again, keeping them safe. But you got millionaires who get to sit back and say, oh, I don't want to, and then still get to keep their jobs. And that's actually leads directly to the point I was going to make. You got to start finding these people. You got to start making them miss games. You got to come down hard on the players, and you got to come down and say, you know what? If you don't get vaccinated and you get COVID, because you're out there being stupid and doing things that you still want to do, which you shouldn't be doing because you're unvaccinated. If you cause your team to miss games, you lose a game check. You lose this. You need to be suspended for X amount of games because of it, right? Because if I'm not mistaken, if you catch COVID as an unvaccinated player in the NBA or the NFL, you're sitting out for a couple of days, you're sitting out for a couple of games, however long you sit out for, but I believe you still get paid. Yeah. That to me is the problem. Okay. If you're going to be missing 10 days and you're in the NBA and you miss 4 games, you don't get 4 game checks. I'm sorry. Goodbye. If you're in the NFL and you have to miss 2 weeks because of COVID, you don't get 2 game checks. And I'm not talking about vaccinated players who have a breakthrough case. I'm not talking about people who are doing what they need to do and doing what they're supposed to be doing and catch it for some unfortunate reason.
Oh, you're talking about Aaron Rodgers.
Right. I'm sorry. If you are an unvaccinated player and I see you on TMZ up in the club doing things you're not supposed to be doing, unmasked and all this other stuff, and then you walk into the facility, boo-hoo-hoo, I got COVID, right. Boo-hoo-hoo, we taking some of that money. Simple.
Money don't want to get vaccinated, you shouldn't play. That's how I feel. And I'm going to keep the same energy when it comes to talking about Kyrie entering COVID protocol today for NFL, NBA. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I think they can't let that money send the business. They maximize my money to make my money is what they're saying. Yeah, but if you don't want to get vaccinated, you shouldn't play. Bye. Bye. Go play in the CFL or CBA or
can't do that because Canada won't let you
play.
They won't even let you. Let me tell you something. They won't even let you play at Rucker Park without being vaccinated, but you can play in the NBA. Mm-hmm. You see how crazy that is? You can't play high school sports if you're not vaccinated. But you can play this?
You listen, you can get $1 billion contract from the league and play, but if you're playing for free, nah.
It's a rich privilege, and I don't think that's fair. That's what's killing us, man. It's a rich privilege. And I know there's some people who do have religious exemption. There's some people who do have concerns. You think I wasn't concerned when I went to get vaccinated? Of course I was. I was amongst the first core group of people who were getting vaccinated. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So if I would have lost the arm or been mutated into the Walking Dead, I mean, that's the risk that I was going to take.
I was trying not to laugh.
I'm just being honest. So walk around like
because we see all these movies about apocalypses and all this stuff and all these, everybody done seen all these zombie movies and virus movies and I Am Legend and all of that. And you know what's always funny in these movies is America is always the one of the first places to go. And everybody
but hold on. But you see why.
And this is why.
You see why. Every day. I'm sitting here. I'm like, I'm stocking up because I'm like, yo, if the Walking Dead happens, they're not coming to Brownsville because like it is too much to me. Like,
I saw a meme.
I don't want to hear anything about these millionaires and stuff not wanting to get vaccinated. Like, you know what? You could take your money and sit home.
I saw a meme. I think it was earlier this week that was just like, Remember back during the beginning of COVID where everybody was saying, oh my God, they should come out with a vaccine to fix this. Now we got a vaccine and don't nobody want to take it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like condoms.
Yeah.
It's like y'all be knowing that in order to, protect yourself from stuff, you want to wear you should wear a condom.
Mm-hmm.
But guess what? If your child doesn't have a meningitis vaccine, right? Child can't go to school. All of us who are old enough got pulled out of class to go get a polio vaccine.
Unless you Antonio Brown parents, just fill it out.
All of us. All of us who are
let me
old
see yours
enough,
real quick.
I think I was old enough to get. I think I was in the last subset of people that got it. When they pulled you out of class and scratched you with a copper penny so that you got a polio vaccine.
I remember that. I had one of those too.
Yeah, you had to get a polio vaccine.
We missed the chickenpox. I missed the chickenpox vaccine. I had to get that shit. The chickenpox.
You have, your child has to get vaccinated.
That night.
In the beginning, Tay brings up the OG important point. Like there are so many things in this world that we have to already be vaccinated for. But now you want to sit here and be like, oh my God, listen, show me your double PhD in microbiology and virus immunology, and then I'll listen to what you have to say.
Or, they could listen to Aaron Rodgers.
Or Joe Rogan.
God rest his soul, Dr. Sebi. Yeah, take this mixture of plants and
take this ginseng root
or you can listen to, or you can have Antonio Brown fill out your doctor's note and be all right. One or the other.
It's just unfortunate. And the thing is, I know we went off on the tangent talking about vaccines and stuff like that, but the bigger picture is COVID is here. It's been here. This is our new normal. We're never going back to how it was beforehand. So it's just like, do we want to move forward as a society, or do we want to continue to play games? We can't play games of human nature. Human nature wins every time.
Every time. Every time. It's not one point in time. It's like humans like, yeah, we got them.
And I know this is something completely off the wall, and I just thought about this, and I'm sorry, and I will shut up about this. Everybody is like, okay, we got to stop using plastics now and stuff. They give us paper straws, right? But they're making whole coats out of plastic. So is it not good to have, what I'm saying? So,
I'm confused too about. I am confused too about that. That's actually a good topic. That is a good topic.
Like, so I can't drink with a plastic straw because of the environment, but you could make a whole coat and what's his name? Telfair? What's that bag?
Sebastian Telfair.
Oh no, the Telfair or whatever. Yeah, Wayfair, whatever. Telfair.
Yeah, Telfair. Like that's all made of like recycled plastic. So what's good for the goose is good for the gander.
Man, I can't get drunk at BBQs because I got to
drink
the
paper
straws.
Give me a bag made out of whatever. Give me a bag out of whatever material Yeezy makes his Swiss cheese shoes out of.
Plastic.
Yeah, the Swiss cheese plastic shoes out here looking like a Stegosaurus on your foot.
I think we said we're gonna talk about the NBA, what the NBA needs to do, but I think it's similar to what the NFL needs to do too, and that is one to make sure the players are vaccinated. Again, this is not for people to be like, oh, this vaccination thing. This is not one of those things where we're like, oh, if you're not vaccinated, you're a bad person. Nobody is saying that.
Never. No.
Yeah, nobody is saying that. This is not that type of podcast. We're not those type of people.
Of course not. No, that's one thing about me, like everybody gets so like hell bent, conservative, liberal, also like no. Like some of the best people I know are conservatives and some of the worst people I know are liberals. You know what I'm saying? So let me just start right there. But I feel like yes, we are all entitled to some sort of free choice. And it's not my place to tell somebody what to do with their bodies. But my thing is, if you're getting paid, if my only thing is to get a shot in my arm twice, to guarantee my money and to protect not only just myself, but my family, or if I put my family in a better position to not die from this terrible virus, I'm gonna take that chance. And I feel like the people who don't take that chance are selfish.
I think the best way to say it too, Tay, is look, everybody. I think you make a great point, right? Everybody has the right to make their own choices, but just like everything in life, every choice you make has a consequence.
Mm-hmm.
Very simple, right? You choose to do what you want to do. You are free to make your own choices, but understand that freedom to make such choices also allows for a variety of different consequences to arise from those choices. Very simple, and this is just what it is.
Also, the people who are vaccinated, they aren't off the hook either. Everybody still need to do what they got to do. Do what they're supposed to do. Social distance, wear your mask.
Let me say something. And I am an avid person who hates wearing these masks, who avoids wearing them as much as I can. But like, let's just try to do the best we can. I know let's get back to sports, please, because I'm starting to fall asleep.
Nah, this is the end. This is the end of the show.
Wait, before we go, because I didn't get everybody's stuff down. Dre, are you taking Green Bay?
Yes.
Tay, are you taking Green Bay? Over the Rams. Okay. And Tay, I didn't get your pick for the Rams game.
So you wasn't paying attention to a goddamn thing I was saying, man.
I was, but you didn't give us a pick. Because remember, he said, while you think.
No, I said Rams.
She did say Rams after that.
I didn't hear that. I was paying attention. But
you wasn't paying attention.
He admitted I wasn't paying attention, but
I didn't hear you, but I was paying attention.
I've been real nice. Y'all want me to start getting real disrespectful?
Now we good. Matt ain't here.
No, we are A-okay. Save that for Matt. We got nothing to do with that. But again, shouts to the Jobbers Network. Guys, well, we'll see. This may be the last episode of the year. May not.
I think that'll be terrible if it was we should have one more.
We should have one more. I think we're gonna have one more.
Star Wars holiday special. We have a Yerrr Sports Show holiday special.
That'd be funny.
That would be funny, and we would talk about anything but sports on that.
Yeah, because I have some questions that I really want to. There's some things I want to talk about.
Okay, so that will be the last episode of the year. We will be basically shooting the shit on that episode.
The Yerrr Sports Show holiday special.
Yes, definitely. I like it. I like
special guests on.
That's fine. Yeah, we gotta find some special guests for sure. We gotta find some special guests.
We haven't had Wilkins on in a while.
We haven't. I know he's been busy. I know I also haven't asked in a while. So
I hate when people say, "Oh, he's been busy," and I haven't been busy. Like you haven't been busy.
No, I said I know he's been busy, but I also haven't.
We all busy. Like
yes, we all busy. We all got lives. We all get into it.
I'm the busiest person on this show.
We know. No, we know. But definitely tune in next week. Definitely not. I feel that episode's gonna be hilarious. But for BK Matt,
Alexa, play "Touched" by Marion.
Oh no!
I'll put that at the end. I'll put that at the end of the episode. Too late. You can play it now. I already played the other stuff.
Marion has arrived.
For the voice of the generation, Pete Rosado. It is your boy. Oh, I'm sorry. For our DJ,
Alexa,
Queen Tay. Keep playing it. Play it out.
Go see Spider-Man, everybody. Go see Spider-Man. It's dope.
It is your boy, Big Baby, signing off. Peace.